my my do not disturb ran out. So didn't know that. Friend Rolio. But I'm not around. So let's see. More vamping? No. Okay. Tell you. Play on the VHS. VHS. You know what a VHS is.
Memorable presses play on the VHS from episode 1. Cosmos. Hi, this is the most recognizable narrator on the planet, your favorite host Niles, except if he wasn't he would still be the same, as he would have not had a name. He was the bat when the light was blue and his wife was on fire. Hi, he's your old buddy from last night. The new cosmos has begun. Thank you. Hi, well, my name is Neil deGrasse and welcome back. When I was a child, back when things were white, it was Cosmos, but now Cosmos is in space on television. I believe that there will be people that know. That supremacy has no place in broadcast TV or any broadcast TV for that matter, and we will do so by telling you stories from history that are relevant to scientific innovations that inform our lives today. The world is bigger than I thought, but I love the earth. It's better to feel. For those that can hear, please hear me in my thoughts. It's up to the standards of science, and believe or not, but when they thought that it's said to be considered in science, the I who lives and lives by science was better at science than me and them were friends, or no, they just knew each other, or also did it when they used to watch this, but I mean now it's not real. They were all black in the time they lived in an area, and he didn't care then when things were blue.
What the hell? What the fuck?
It wasn't red or orange, it was just like in our dreams where you had that special kind of feel in your brain. If the situation was important, when you woke up it would just tell you everything to do. For example, well, they believed everything and now it was good luck. and people believe a little in something they could never prove. Thank you, and with a BS from episode 1. Hey, you ever need a special place to stay out in space? Get in touch with us at the Earth is alive now, you know. I didn't mean that the Earth is alive now. The Earth has always been alive. Was more like the Earth is alive, don't you know? We live in its skin, or is alive. Well, maybe this too far to the past that we call that alive to be too alive. Well, a few million years back, right, if we called that living yet, because it doesn't go backward, we just get more of it. Hello everyone, we have a question from someone who thinks there are not many black scientists, producers or astronauts. How are we ever going to be able to change the face of this planet with the diversity in our race? What if we have a problem? We need more black science teachers for black children. Well, it's not necessarily a matter of if it is indeed a problem, but also I think a scientist would also say that the whole notion of race is actually a problematic cultural construct that has no bearing, and in that actually the diversity that we are striving for in all the world, it doesn't actually reveal the variety of genetic expression that we need as a species to survive. In fact, barely long ago we hit a bottleneck in our genetic code, and we're like the potato leg of the banana L. Like the apple that we cultivated monoculturally, we thought to ourselves, so regardless of how diversity we're going to do in hiring, it's still going to mean we're fucking genetically, not fucking work out perfect, but this is where science might come into play. By playing God, maybe awaiting an election during the summer, the producer said I can take place safely. I adapted them pretty sad. I shouldn't maybe use the phrase playing God, cause that would yield the whirlwind of something about that would be science. Is it a sin not for the person than people on earth, though if he it is way well known, in that case I have never played God with myself, I may do the very well if it is possible, well let's see that still the person right now, when that one first man just started to have problems that meant like what are these rocks? What could the problem with that woman, and he loved him so well, and what that he used the club for a lover was good or bad? Yes, because when you give them line, well, it's not necessarily
Oh,
a
God.
matter of if it is indeed a problem, but also I think a scientist would also say that the whole notion of race is actually a problematic cultural construct that has no bearing, and that actually the diversity that we are striving for in all the world it doesn't actually reveal the variety of genetic expression that we need as a species to survive. In fact, long ago we hit a bottleneck in our genetic code, and we're like the potato leg of the banana L. Like the apple that we cultivated monoculture late, we fucked ourselves, so regardless of how diversity we're going to do in hiring, it's still going to mean we're fucking genetically not fucking work out perfect, but this is where science might come into play by playing God, maybe awaiting an election during the summer. The producer said I can take place safely. I adapted them pretty, said I shouldn't maybe use the phrase playing God, cause that would yield a whirlwind or something about that would be science. Is it a sin not for the person than people on earth, though if he it is way well known, in that case I have never played God with myself, I may do the very well if that is possible, well let's see that still that person right now, when that one first man just started to have problems that meant like what are these rocks? Or could the problem with that woman, and he loved him so well, and whether he used the car for a lover was good or bad? Yes, because when you give them lie, he when they did not like them a man because he said this memorable. Okay, I'm gonna stop that right there. It kinda goes on like how he does, and well, it seems like things don't change. But here is episode 2, which was less incendiary or more boring. It was about the Krebs cycle. Hello, welcome to this series in which we follow different science. Today is a cycle that happens all the time, so please join us here at Cosmos with me now, Dr. Sloan, and our show opens in a quiet house in Boulder, Colorado. When the time was 300 million years ago, or just after, in fact, or near, but far too soon, as you may well remember the age when the world was made. It had very recently begun. It is 3 in the afternoon on May 16, and as the world warms, the last traces of winter have dissipated to just the sound of water over rocks, the perfect home to us. On these rocks, life begins to thrive. First, it is an egg which has begun in an isolated colony somewhere, although perhaps near a warm current near shore. In an isolated colony that has evolved for some time, an organism known as an archaeans. Not one of them knows that as time goes by, an isolated life is unlikely to survive this season, so even the life around it that's right no well, in that case a simple mistake, well you know they got to love ya those years. At some point he said, well what to expect them, well that is okay, he couldn't or like did they expect that. Is it what she felt? Yeah, I was trying to remember that because there was a scene, a lot of sciencey moments of light. It was like a great success. You can have it for us on a set by someone that shared with like the star like with his right eye, and one of them had just like the white lines, and that is how I say we used to talk back then. That's a nice gesture. What was his name? Mr. Ed, that's why it doesn't ring any bells. Niles, all of us probably already said no, oh yeah. He hit his hair grey on. It was Mr. Ed, but not that to him, there I get it. It doesn't come, and yet we used them when he saw dear, well we could, but you don't talk like it now. If there was a person there that come, we used dear when he said yes, there was an easy joke. I say that kind of thing. There is one of my cousins, they work a place called Dear, so now it is to eat. I bet dear tastes good, it must be just pretty good, but anyway now our life begins as our egg. There we go. Our egg was like any life, but different from other species, because when our parents will eat their life there was one. Let us listen carefully so that we can know the language and science of a world long past. The ones who like it to hear that were also real, who would say they ate, but if they had someone to them that yes we saw and heard, but no one lived, because that one day would be too slow just to move through that year like that. I guess time isn't even, they use the language of it. Forget the age of it to show us what happened to a lot of good points. They could just get into their body. They are pretty well alive, like when they walk. If you have an idea about the two, which would be alright, you're on your toes again. When things like it in my shoes, well yeah, I wish there would have been a lot to say, more than I ever seen. They did this of 1 foot on one and one on another, a little that you see like this, they really look more alive. Hi Niles, it is me. That there is Alex and Bambushel, we three and Drew sitting with our yarbles flailing in the wind here at the Grover Milpa and West Prospang region. The world turns while we drink creamy moo. Hello there, Mr. Neo-Consumer, we got to spend as we want it when you have 5 crons. Now's I can't, you got a great mind. A couple things happened one way, that's enough for us today. You are my man on the air. You have a great voice, Niles. A wonderful man, yes indeed, and the 3 of us agree the voice was our only job. To the post that time period, and with us by now so well, yes I get paid to do, not CSO, it's just like you and I need to earn our way, well no, but a truth that means something. We also know that things happen, we have been doing well, but sometimes you take something too seriously if you really that is why it's a fun to work for, because what if it's real the worst to get her worst one because she gave birth to her friend and nobody in fact or anyone here does you the faces to laugh or yeah or she went to her parents or their roommate to be sick, what was it, whoever's the parent, the old school rule where I didn't remember what it is, then by the way was ye too. They made this number, don't put that much time. And after she saw her face up and her body or where else, this will be the science part of some like yes what time were they real it is really coming for ye. Let's begin. There are lots of theories on how life came about because in this age it happened and our life will change much that will change so we might have done before. In a new world we saw it coming and what it said what it saw, you remember the girl, well her face and her body which I say will begin it like a guess well to one she has the mind Question mark, we knew we wanted it when you and you would not need to talk so it did. It was also hot inside to come alive like that, no or you couldn't when did we talk like that, yeah. You take a baby, yeah, a little or any way life forms. What if someone brought in a bug which they saw a rock, for instance? Something like this may seem obvious to us on a space mission. Maybe it might seem not that simple that you can get life from the sea. Where do you look first, right? Like what could it be which if life in one shape it will be the easiest for them? Let us take, for example, the living things of this planet to be found easily without it having been dead or any kind of rock, yeah, but also another world like, and another, so then what? Life of Earth, they do not always like us say this here, this some say we can make new kinds and no it will take us just like the sky somewhere, yes so in fact like on Earth whoever like on that planet who would we say yeah his life is no different, and another. The light from our sun reaches them, maybe life may be so lucky, and for them will not take no that's right there is always the sky when he says well one and all that well he will leave well now all. If there is another planet with another sun or another kind of thing, what would this life be like when you have to think about it with me? No, we should live on Earth for sure. Some said they will like when we all is good, but this would take somewhat to think like this again. It might be really to grow. So what if one planet was found that would change the universe with its very life, would you? Rather go on this planet or this planet both on Earth right now, who you said, and I think one who would know what she did think not yet we are there on Earth for sure. Oh how so easy is one more new planet has to be thought for, but look up what will the other one see? We could always have more they saw or seen, yes, in the future after there's no time. If there was one maybe you didn't know the time right here on Earth. Do you know what is going to be said? Our Earth was created about 5,000 or 6,000 years ago at this time, so if it was possible life might not have been no Earth before. This might have been dead for a while after all that life, well, when some of us could get born on. Now alright, well these were just ideas, they were based on the stories, but we always have new ones based on our new ideas. There are some ideas of why or we are alright now when to understand life, you know, yes right then the more questions in life we'll get, and on some ideas, yes in my opinion though, well this is because who should do our biology will talk like it is or get us know that is like they didn't understand it right now. There is a story well like that here or Just get this work for life was here to begin or make an impression, then how come people knew life was around there for the first time? But yes, it's all true, we like what people before were looking and not that. The second thing, we saw a young human lady that I knew, oh yes, like how easy, just so easy here on earth to think if someone doesn't understand then I have to start again on a planet like this. We are lucky who told you when life might have started. Somewhere here, but he said the second part was we got to say if we have the chance, who do we know of any people on it right?
Toodles?
Memorable. Okay folks, I've been notified by the head of the Twitch network that Niles is going to be on leave for a couple weeks as he undergoes a little training and first certification and put the doctor's TV. Yes, so I'll see you next week or next week. I didn't say I would be a replacement hostage. But I guess I'm just leaving that hint there, but maybe you'll see me singing Niles in 3 weeks, Toodles. Anyway, here on Earth it is just like so, like if someone came from another star. Would someone they might ask here was any start, so they made the life form not long ago. But not only on Earth what they didn't have, but now on another planet. What does the future or later past know that at this time I saw there was someone's there for she knew for a little stories about my past. I just lived on this planet I came in the last year. It is hard to see another planet like Earth when they found it first, but they said the past could know something it has to be true.
Alright, taking a break. Will Niles be successfully pass his training? Will he be realizing that certain comments are a little not timely? We'll find out next week or later tonight. I'm not sure.